Coming up on KPBS Evening Edition, some changes in the Padres front office, and a Camp Pendleton Marine says he's getting the boot because of his Facebook page.
Plus, the battle over a power plant in Santee and some tax advice from the IRS. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dwayne Brown.
And I'm Amitha Sharma, in for Joanne Farian.
There's a shuffle in the front office of the San Diego Padres. The man trying to buy the team is stepping down as chief executive officer. KPBS business reporter Eric Anderson has been following the story. He joins us from the News Center. So what happened today, Eric?
Well, there was a tersely worded statement released by the Padres this afternoon that said simply that Jeff Morad is not going to be the chief executive officer of the San Diego Padres anymore. It's not saying that he's severing his relationship with the team, but it says, in fact, that he's going to continue to negotiate what has been talked about as a lucrative contract with Fox Sports, a television deal that the Padres have been working on. But he is not going to be the man in charge of the day-to-day operations of the Padres. Another executive from inside the front office will take that role, temporarily at least.
What does it say about the future of Morad's role with the Padres?
Well, it really raises a lot more questions than it answers. Of course, Morad has been trying to buy the team for several years now from John Moores, the previous owner, who was forced to sell because of a costly divorce. And he actually withdrew an application to complete that sale that was supposed to go before baseball owners earlier this month. They weren't sure whether or not there was some uncertainty over the financial details of the deal as the reason, or whether or not he just didn't have the 22 votes of support that he needed. And so there are some really unanswered questions out there, and Jeff Morad hasn't been talking publicly about it.
KPBS business reporter Eric Anderson.
A Camp Pendleton Marine says he's being drummed out of the Corps because of his Facebook page. Staff Sergeant Gary Stein drew attention with a post saying he wouldn't follow orders from President Barack Obama. He changed the post to say he wouldn't follow illegal orders. Stein is also accused of violating Defense Department rules by creating a Facebook page called Armed Forces Tea Party. Earlier this month, that page included a prominent No Obama graphic. The Defense Department says a service member can express personal views about politics, but not as a representative of the armed forces. Stein says he's been relieved of his duties as a weathercaster. On Facebook, he says, quote, "Now that I've been given a desk job with no computer access, I will have more time to study the Constitution." He faces a discharge under other than honorable conditions. He could also have his rank reduced and could be ordered to pay back his bonus money and education fees.
People on Shelter Island may have been startled this morning by what looked like a terrorist attack, but it was only a drill. The Navy staged a mock attack on the USS Princeton as part of its annual security tests.
A state agency that monitors our power grid is considering its options if the San Onofre nuclear power plant stays offline this summer. The plant's been offline for nearly 2 months because of problems with tubes carrying radioactive water. San Onofre provides 20% of San Diego's energy, and without it, officials say the system would face reliability issues when demand goes up in hot weather.
A community cleanup and recycling event will be held Saturday at Qualcomm Stadium. If you're a San Diego City resident, now's the time to properly get rid of stuff you've been storing in the garage. It's spring cleaning time, and if you've been storing up items such as tires, household batteries, light bulbs, even electronics and furniture, now's the time to get rid of it for free. City Councilman Todd Gloria says this prevents people from dumping waste illegally and saves the city money.
Things that end up in alleyways, in canyons, and other places in the public right-of-way that the city then has to pick up. And so if we can divert those staffing time and resources elsewhere to take care of proactively of problems rather than reacting to this stuff, that's a benefit to the city.
The big idea behind this event is to keep recyclable items like this out of the landfill.
Waste tires are a blight on the community. When improperly managed, they can create mosquito breeding habitat and rodent harborage.
The last recycling event at Qualcomm was in June. It drew about 450 vehicles to the southeast parking lot. This Saturday, organizers are hoping to double that number. Lisa Poston with Environmental Services says they'll have plenty of trucks on hand and will recycle as much as possible.
We take the metals to a recycling center, the greens to the greenery. The trash does go in the landfill, but we try to separate out as much as we can. Electronics, TVs, all of that goes to a recycling center.
Now, the recycling event at Qualcomm is from 8 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon Saturday. This is only for San Diego City residents, so no businesses or commercial waste will be accepted. A battle is brewing over a proposed power plant in Santee. Amitha is talking about that at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
This evening, state officials are holding a public workshop on a proposed 100-megawatt power plant near Mast Road and San Clemente Canyon Freeway in San Diego. But not everyone is in favor of the so-called Quail Brush Generation Project. Robin Kedward, spokesperson for the Stop the Santee Power Plant Group, joins me. Robin, I just want to say that even though the word Santee is in the title of your group, this project is located in San Diego. Why are you opposed to this proposal?
Well, first of all, Louisa, thanks very much for allowing us to come here and actually put the right stuff out in public. We're opposed to the project because it doesn't seem like it's being done right. You know, the zoning of this plant and the zoning of the land where this plant has to go are completely at odds. When Alonzo Horton and Kate Sessions began to set up San Diego 150 years ago, they set out various areas for various things to be built. And San Diego ended up being a beautiful city of villages connected by freeways. And so the zoning is the very fabric of the ground that makes San Diego. Now the big request is to change the zoning in this place from a residential one, which is one house per every 20 acres, down to a heavy industrial one, in order to put this plant in. And that just does not seem to make sense.
And what are some of your other concerns?
Well, we do have concerns about the pollution side of it, and we also have concerns about the noise side of it. Santee is a bedroom community. Most of the people who live in Santee work around or work over in San Diego. So Santee itself is a place where people come at night. Now,
and so we've got a graphic here about noise associated with this project. Explain what we're seeing right now.
Well, you're looking at a picture that shows the amount of noise that will be produced by this plant measured in a thing called the decibels. An 80 decibel noise is like a motorcycle running outside your house 24 hours a day. So if you look at the map and you look at those places where it says 80 dB, that'll be just like that, having a motorcycle running outside your house.
And so this is unmitigated.
That's what it would be like, unmitigated. Now, further to the sound, these Wärtsilä generators actually make a deep sound. It's a sound that's similar in frequency to that used by whales to communicate. And they communicate over hundreds of miles using these low frequencies. So whether the map shows it or not, everybody in Mission Trails Regional Park will be affected by the sound coming from this power plant.
And how close is the proposed project to schools and homes?
I measured it on Google Earth, and it's 660 yards from the power plant down to Mast High School. That seems to be awfully close, and I can't even find any precedents where that may have been done before. It's only 400 yards down to the place where the children play Little League baseball, and it's only 200 yards down to the edge of Mission Trails Regional Park, which is the jewel in the crown of the park system here in San Diego.
How have the California Energy Commission and Cogentrix, the company behind this proposal, responded to some of the concerns aired so far?
They don't seem to have responded very well. They just seem to be churning out the same platitudes and churning out the same speeches that we heard time and time again. What we need from them is some assurances that this plant will be done right. We're not even calling it what people call a NIMBY. What we're saying is we recognize that there's a need for this power plant, but let's do it right. Let's do it in the proper place at the proper time with the proper way of doing things. That's our request.
Now, it should be said that we requested that representatives from Cogentrix Energy, which is behind the project, come on the show. They could not, but they did appear on our radio show, Midday Edition, earlier today. Here's what they said about the concerns. The Quail Brush project is also designed for efficiency and rapid start capabilities when renewable energy resources are not available. Its primary purpose is to provide electricity quickly and when needed, providing support to the existing transmission system and maintaining overall reliability. Quail Brush is still in the early stages of the environmental review process. We are committed to working with the community and responding to any issues that may arise. What about this argument, Robin, that, look, it's only going to be used during peak demand and to supplement renewable energy sources? Is this not needed?
That seems to be the basis of their argument, but I can't see at all, first of all, where a temporary power station that's going to be there for 30 years can be called a temporary power station. But secondly, I can't see where the boardroom controlling the investment that some of these people have made in this thing, they're going to spend $180 million to build this power station. They're going to want a full return on their money. The boardroom's not going to say, we're saying goodbye to 48% of our possible profits. The pressures from the boardroom are going to be immense for them to run this plant 24/7.
Very quickly, at what stage is this process?
But right now, we're still in the talking stage. The land is still there, green, blowing in the wind, and looking very beautiful. And it needs to remain that way.
Robin Kedward, we're going to have to close it there. Thank you so much.
Lisa, thanks so much for having us on, and I hope we can do something about this.
Coming up, we'll show you how some advances in aviation could affect the future of San Diego's Lindbergh Field. And if you haven't done your taxes yet, we've got some advice straight from the IRS. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
I'm Margaret Warner. On the next news hour, the scorching heat and record drought in Texas, part of a new series, Coping with Climate Change. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
Coming up on Finding Your Roots, lifelong friends Harry Connick Jr. and Branford Marsalis embark on a search for their ancestors.
This is your family. These are your people. Wow. Wow, I never saw that before.
They explore the history of their beloved city.
New Orleans, this was one of those places where if that's what you wanted to do, that's what you could do.
Finding Your Roots.
Sunday at 8 on KPBS.
The American people have named PBS the most trusted source of news and public affairs.
For the 8th year in a row.
Trust.
The American people have spoken.
Thank you.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
It's tax season, and it looks like you have a little more breathing room for the deadline this year. Amitha is getting some tax tips from her guests at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
Figuring out your taxes can be taxing, but this year the tax deadline is April 17th, so taxpayers have an extra 2 days to sort through what they owe or what they are owed by Uncle Sam. IRS spokesperson Rafael Tulinos joins me now to offer some tips. Rafael, the economy is still sputtering. What if you find out you owe the IRS money, but you don't have a lump sum available? Will the IRS accept a payment plan?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, we began a posture a couple years ago, and we continue it this year. We realize, the IRS realizes a lot of taxpayers are struggling. In other words, they have a balance due and they can't pay it. The advice is this: file the return, okay, and then do pay something, and let the IRS know that you're in a position where you can't full pay what you owe, and then we can enter into an installment agreement plan and that kind of a thing. There's an offer in compromise, too, for some folks who may qualify, but the installment agreement plan is probably for most, and basically that's a chance to pay a little bit per month based on what you have as a tax obligation to make it easier for you and the agency. Now that said, real quick, just recently we increased the threshold for the online plan, which you can qualify for. It was under $25,000 in debt. We doubled it to under $50,000 in debt. And that's all part of our Fresh Start program, which we also began a few years ago, and we continue now to help taxpayers in that situation.
So if you can't pay a lump sum, are there any special fees or extra documentation that you've got to provide?
Well, there is a little bit of a fee for depending on the plan, the installment agreement you get involved in. But the bottom line is, do pay something. Do let the IRS be proactive and let us know that you're in a position that you can't full pay. Let's work together. We want to be a help and not a hinder to those folks who have those balances due.
What about people who are unemployed? Is the IRS cutting them any slack?
Yeah, part of the Fresh Start program actually just instituted. Same thing with the doubling of an installment agreement was a benefit for those who have unemployment. If you're unemployed and you have a balance due, there's a chance to where we'll waive a little bit for 6 months of your taxes, the penalties, which could be a little bit of a less that you might owe. And that was also in the Fresh Start program. The bottom line is unemployment generally is taxable. So just want to keep that in mind. Unfortunately, a lot of folks get unemployment and they realize, oh, I have to pay tax on it. But do let the IRS know. We want to work with you to take care of this thing.
Okay, two other categories of people. You've got the military. San Diego's home to a lot of military personnel. Are there any special rules that apply to them when filing? And also college graduates who are paying off their loans. Do any special rules apply to them?
Well, student loan interest is deductible. So answering the second part of that first, so if you're a student loan interest, you can deduct that on your tax return as a student. And then going over to the military, there are dozens and dozens of special laws that exist just for military personnel and their families, armed forces personnel and their families. I know that's indigenous here to San Diego. So the IRS website at irs.gov, if you keyword search IRS Publication 3, which is the Armed Forces Tax Guide, it is just full of all of the special laws that exist just for military personnel and their families.
Are there any really, really good free IRS online programs helping people do their taxes?
Right. You can get free online at irs.gov at our free file program, which is generally free tax preparation for a federal income tax return. The key there is $57,000 or less of income. So you link into our site, check out free file, choose the software provider that we are in partner with, link out of our site, go into their site, file your federal income tax return for free. Key is the income $57,000 or less. And then in the community through our volunteer income tax assistance sites, which are up and running throughout the county through April 17th. And that's generally simple returns, $50,000 of income or less. And you can find one of these sites by going to 211 or the IRS website at irs.gov. Through April 17th. So there's lots of ways to get free tax preparation as we make our way through the deadline, to the deadline.
Tax season seems to bring out a lot of scam artists. Tell us about some of these scams.
Okay, the most pervasive and the most common is phishing, and that's with the PH, in your inbox, the IRS initial contact. Hey, it's the IRS about this refund. We don't initiate contact with taxpayers through your inbox with an email about a refund or a survey or a probe or such. Unfortunately, with tax season comes the scammers, and they're looking to use the IRS as a lure to get you to provide personal intrusive information through phishing, not the IRS doing it. The other thing we see are promoters actually, let's say at a church gathering, promoting to you as a senior citizen, for example, who has really no filing requirement or little income, to file this return, a physical return for a tax credit that exists, but based on your situation, you're going to get it. They're trying to peddle a bogus refund to you based on things. Just bottom line is just be careful out there, because if it seems like it's too good to be true, whether online or not, chances are it probably is.
Very quickly, where can people get more information on this?
irs.gov. irs.gov is a wealth of tax information.
Rafael Tolino, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
San Diego's Lindbergh Field will offer its first direct nonstop flight to Tokyo by the end of the year, courtesy of Japan Airlines. The service is now possible because a new Boeing 787 has the range to make it across the Pacific. KPBS reporter Tom Fudge has more on how new technology, fuel costs, and the economy are affecting San Diego's airport.
Boeing calls the 787 the Dreamliner, and it paid a visit to San Diego on a promotional trip last week.
Also, you'll notice that we have no window shades on this airplane.
Boeing spokesman Larry Cito says the 787 uses 20% less fuel than other airplanes of equal size, due to a bonding technology that doesn't require rivets through the skin of the fuselage.
So what that does for you is it first saves in weight, it saves you in fatigue life, It saves you in corrosion, and it saves you in aerodynamic efficiencies because those rivets will protrude out of the outer skin of the airplane.
The greater fuel efficiency of the 787 creates new opportunities for San Diegans to fly to Asia, either nonstop or with only one connection instead of two, and that's great. But the need for the Dreamliner also draws attention to the limitations of Lindbergh Field and its short, less than 9,000-foot runway.
The problem with Lindbergh Field is not just the runway. The problem with Lindbergh Field is that it sits in the bottom of a bowl or a cup, and no matter if you're taking off east or west, you have the terrain that begins to rise.
And clearing that terrain off a short runway means you can't carry much fuel because that weighs down the plane. And if you can't carry much fuel, there's a limit to how far you can fly. The other well-known problem with Lindbergh Field is it has only one runway, severely limiting the number of flights that can take off and land. Joe Craver, a former Air Force colonel, was chair of the San Diego County Airport Authority when it asked voters in 2006 if it should seek to move San Diego's airport to Miramar Air Station in cooperation with the Marines.
If the military would have given up Miramar and given it to the city, and the voters would have approved them putting an international airport in there, that would be able to allow an airport to be an expansion of Miramar to bring in 4 runways that would be over 10,000 feet long, that would take San Diego into the next century.
But what would San Diego do with 4 runways? Some of the assumptions about the growth of air travel we made 6 years ago have changed. Not long ago, it seemed like air travel was becoming just another middle-class entitlement. Everybody flew. If you had a week off, you might as well go visit your brother Bob in Fort Lauderdale. But about 4 years ago, something happened, a recession. Since 2008, the passenger count at Lindbergh Field has dropped by well over 1 million people. It seems like a strong contradiction to the claims made in 2006 that Lindbergh would max out in 20 years. And as if the recession weren't enough, a little more recently, something else happened that you probably noticed at the gas pumps. Fuel prices went up dramatically. Steve Van Beek is an airport consultant based in Washington, D.C. He says fuel is an airline's greatest expense. He adds that while high fuel prices combined with a slow economy may be bad news for airlines, in a way, it's good news for Lindbergh Field.
So planes are fuller, and not as many planes as we projected are flying, which actually extends the life of an airport like Lindbergh, probably 10, 15, maybe even more years than that.
Among the passengers who use Lindbergh, views are mixed, but tell the truth, a lot of people really like it.
I fly to hundreds of airports in the country, and Lindbergh's one of my favorites, close to the city. Small airport, in and out, easy.
But visit Lindbergh's commuter terminal, and you'll hear from passengers who are frustrated with the lack of direct flights. Karsten Schmidt is ready to jump on a small plane to L.A. because there are no direct flights to Frankfurt, Germany.
For me personally, it's important to get to Germany, and connections from Los Angeles or San Francisco do exist, but not from San Diego. So it would be a great idea if we had the ability to promote this a little bit. And I know a lot of my colleagues who have business connections with Germany and Europe would really like that.
But for now, he has to transfer at LAX.
I take the pedal jumper, and my flight leaves at 3:15, I think, I hope.
San Diegans can already fly direct to London aboard a 777, and the ability of people to fly direct to Frankfurt or Paris doesn't really rely on airport infrastructure or airplane technology. Van Beek says it depends on the airlines having enough business. He refers back to the coming flights to Tokyo.
The key for the business travelers in this area will be supporting the new 787 flight. So business travelers need to fly nonstop. They need to buy in the business and premium section of the cabin, and they need to make it a profitable flight.
Today, planes like the Dreamliner are putting Lindbergh in a position to improve its international service. As for the limitations of a single runway, well, we're stuck with it. Even if the Marines left Miramar Air Station next week, there's no telling San Diegans would actually want that to become a home to a 4-runway airport.
That's KPBS reporter Tom Fudge. Experts say a good ground alternative like high-speed rail could one day take the place of short flights to Northern California. thus extending the life and viability of Lindbergh Field. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Doc Martin is back.
Oh my goodness.
It's a new season, and he's a new dad.
Look at that. Brand new little family. It's disgusting.
But he's leaving Port Wynne, and they've already replaced him.
I'm Dr. Dibbs. The new doctor said I could have some for my ankles.
Well, she's wrong. Put it back. Can Martin and Louisa make it work now that there's a baby?
Bit of a puzzler there then, eh, Doc?
The season premiere of Doc Martin.
Watch new episodes, part of a season premiere event, March 29th at 8 on KPBS.
What are things made of?
So all life, us, Justin Bieber, everything made of carbon chains?
It all comes down to elements.
And this must be hydrogen.
What are they? Why do they behave the way they do?
Tastes like salt.
New York Times tech guru David Poe gives an off-the-charts tour of the periodic table.
My globes are on fire. I'm seeing atoms.
Hunting the elements on Nova.
April 4th at 9 on KPBS.
Welcome back to the Public Square on KPBS Evening Edition. We have some reactions to the case of a Camp Pendleton Marine who says he's being discharged for criticizing President Obama online. Earlier this month, Sergeant Gary Stein challenged Obama's birth certificate. He has called the president a liar and the, quote, domestic enemy our oath speaks about. These comments all came in posts to the Armed Forces Tea Party Facebook page. Military rules bar political activity by personnel, and Stein says he's been relieved of duty. Sergeant Stein says he'll fight an ouster. Many of you feel strongly about the matter. One reader of the KPBS blog Home Post wrote, "For those who believe the sergeant should blindly follow orders would have made good Nazis. I was only following orders defense. Obama wouldn't know the Constitution if it ran over him. I am also a vet and believe our job is to protect the American people and the Constitution. Obama is trying to destroy both." President Obama, by the way, was a constitutional law professor. Michael Kohout had this to say: "The Marine sergeant, I'm sure, repeated the same oath that I had when I enlisted in the Army. That solemn oath states that one will always defend the U.S. from enemies foreign and domestic. One shall always act in a way that reflects honor onto oneself and his country, and to always respect and follow the orders of your superiors, from the Commander-in-Chief on down." He gave up his right to badmouth the president as soon as he signed his enlistment papers and raised his right hand and said that oath. You can weigh in on the conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and of course, you can email us. And now Dwayne has a recap of tonight's top stories.
The CEO of the Padres is stepping down. The team says Jeff Morad will remain as vice chairman and will still be involved with developing Fox Sports San Diego. And state power officials say they have some contingency plans if the San Onofre nuclear power plant isn't back online by the summer. The plant has been shut down for weeks. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.